Alright, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today I'm trying to do some preventive maintenance because I know I have some serious issues going on. Well, not serious, but they can turn to serious issues. So my first indication I have an issue is that I had to refill my brake fluid. So that's just something you never have to do. And I already knew I had a transmission cooling line leak that I modified. When I modified, it had a little bit of a drip and wetness leak. And now that I turned the car around, I can actually see puddles underneath here on where it's leaking. So I have a high belief that what I'm seeing here is transmission leaking fluid. And I can see right here, you can see right there's a little bit of wetness. So I'm gonna try to figure that out. Try to figure out that wetness there and see how I can fix it or make it better, and you know, just to stop the transmission from leaking. Then I have to go to the back and refill it and top it off. But as far as the brake, which is even more critical, I believe it's probably leaking from this caliper. Just looking at the wetness here. I don't know if you can see it from the camera. There's leaking right there. I can see it inside the wheel that it's wet, and then I can see right here that there was wet underneath that tire. So then I got some wetness up here near the front, and that could be coming from the old oil cooler line, still having some fluid in there. But right now my biggest concern is the dress. Yeah, it's definitely right there. I can see the line. It's probably just that fitting is loose, because I was having a leak over here, and it's hard to probably tell right now, but you can see it's completely dry. All I did was just tighten that some more. So hopefully this will be a quick and easy fix. And let's go ahead and knock this out. So I'm gonna wipe it down and then just get a wrench and tighten it. Okay, so hopefully you can see it, but so I had to turn. I turned this about 360 degrees, and that's how much loose it was. But when I got to probably, this point, it was tight enough, but the line got kinked up. So I decided, let's see if I can push it and keep turning around, the line can unkink itself. However, it didn't. So what I have to do is I have to actually take the line off. So I want to prevent from busting threads. So it's on there super tight now. And it probably won't be leaking, but the thing is I was trying to avoid is I don't want to have to bleed the brakes, because it might have got air. It probably is now air in the system because I took it off. So now I got to bleed the brake, this caliper up here at this top where this nipple is, just to breathe the air out. You guys already seen it before, and if you've been following my channel about how to breathe brakes. But the line isn't kinked anymore. This is nice and really tight. I might go over there and give on the other side, give it a quick tug to make sure it's tight as well, but it's not leaking, because I took care of that one actually a few months ago. So yeah, just gonna have to bleed the air out since it got the kink out. But before I go ahead and start bleeding air out, I'm gonna try to go over here and look at this problem on this transmission line, because it's probably actually worse than the brake line. So yeah, let's try to figure out where it's leaking from, and then get tighten it. So I'll let you know where I fire was leaking from. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is getting rid of all these hoses that do like a transition from plastic hose to metal, then it goes from plastic hose and it goes back up to metal. So I'm just gonna probably cut it all out, and I know I got the camera all over the place. I know I'm probably just gonna cut it all out, and you really can't see all the hoses, but just do straight hose to hose, and that'd probably be the simple solution, so I don't have to have all these hose clamps. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, is just cut this piece out. Well, not cut this piece out. You see this long piece right here that snakes around and follow my light? That'll be one piece. That'll be the hose, and it'll connect directly to the hose. It goes directly into the radiator. Once I get everything cut, it'll make better sense, and you'll see, and I'll have it all out. So yeah, let's just do that. That'll probably be the simplest method instead of all these clamps. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that before. Okay, as you can see right here, have the piece disconnected. As you can see how it went from metal and it went into this hose, went from metal to this hose, and I was like double hose clamping and stuff like this. And on this back end, it was clamped to, where is it at? It's hanging down somewhere. Where is it at? Where is it at? Here it is. It's hanging down to this one, and this one goes directly to the radiator. So what I'm planning to do is cut this up in there where the actual hose part is, and just do this hose to this hose using one of my brass fittings, and hopefully that will be it. So let's go ahead and cut the hose and get going. Okay, so I know it's probably hard to tell, but here it is all put back together. It has a brass fitting that's connected two hoses together, and I put a hose clamp on each side, and then it's you know how I can be. It is zip tied to the steering rack, and then it's also zip tied to the sway bar just to make sure it doesn't bounce around. I'm not too concerned about it. You know, I got a lot of shit zip tied, and I'm still going to the track and having great times, and nothing's breaking. Knock on plastic. Only concern right there, as you can see, is I got a little nick in the hose, but it hasn't gone all the way through yet. So it's just something I need to keep tabs on, make sure it doesn't go. But I mean, it was already on this same hose, you know, I guess for a long time. But as of right now, it's not next to anything that should be nicking or should be rubbing against. So the last thing I need to do is just go ahead and bleed the brake and check for leaks when I start it. Okay, so this was a little short segment. Last thing I really need to do is probably just top off the transmission fluid. But that's just something for another day when I'm really either, you know, changing brake pads and I got the car up already in the back. But yeah, already turned the car on, checked it for leaks. There's no leaks at the connector. There's only one connector right now, and only one single point of potential failure or potential leaks between it and the transmission cooler, and it's right there. You can see with the two hose clamps. One thing I did figure out is that, you know, last track session I was at, car was running a little hot, but I mean, it was like 85-90 degrees. The last video was at the track day. So on the oil, I was seeing about, the highest I saw was 266. On the coolant, the highest I saw was about 223. On the transmission, the highest I saw was probably in the I can't remember. It might have been at 240s. But so one thing I was thinking about is probably putting up another, rehooking up this this oil cooler right here. And I think there's a way I can get to the fittings, the AN fittings from underneath, because I could get through the grill, but if I get through the grill, I don't know how I'm going to put it back on without taking the bumper off. So I'm trying to eliminate taking the bumper off. So one way I can get to it is coming up here underneath the bottom where I put, you know, chicken wire. I don't know if you saw my video before. As like a little screen to protect anything from flying up in there. So I can take these off, which are just held on by zip ties. Of course, you know me with the zip ties. And get my hand in there and get to the fittings. As you can see, there's one right there, and the other's right there with a wrench, and then I can, you know, get this cooler back on and help, and you know, be addition to this cooler. So two coolers in series. It'll probably add about another 10 degrees of cooling to the whole system. Most of my cooling coming from there, but every little bit helps. So just need to order the hoses, then get to work. So I guess I got a little additional project to add on. But anyway, if you haven't been to the channel before, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.